Imagine logging into your favorite Rust server on wipe day, ready for the usual grind. Within hours, everything is wrong. Players are casually walking around with hundreds of millions of wood in their pockets. Massive bases are climbing into the sky like monuments to broken rules. The entity counter is melting past 100,000 before the first day is even over. Performance tanks, admins panic and force another wipe. This wasn't a random glitch, this was Dupe City, and it was only one chapter in a much darker story. Rust's economy has been shattered, patched, and shattered again for over a decade. Every time the game forgot what items are actually supposed to cost. Every wipe makes the same promise. Resources are scarce on purpose. You farm, you craft, you spend real time and risk to raid. That scarcity is the entire social contract. When it collapses, the wipe dies. Unlimited stacks turn building into free real estate. Free weapons turn every fight into a joke. Free ammo turns gunfights into background noise. The game stops being about skill and hours and becomes about whoever found the hole first. Facepunch saw the warning signs early. Back in September 2014, they quietly fixed a craft cancel exploit that let players double their materials by spamming the cancel button. It was already a live threat 4 months before the first major disaster. Then came the UI Reboot in late January 2015. Almost immediately, players discovered they could duplicate entire stacks of items infinitely. On one major server, the entity count exploded past 100,000 in under 20 hours. Rustified reported players carrying hundreds of millions of wood. Performance completely died. The only fix was another emergency wipe. Facepunch shipped a patch and, in the same move, hard-capped every stack at 1,000 items. The community started calling it Dupe City. A few days later, Facepunch's own Community Update 26 showed the official map of that wipe and openly admitted a dupe bug had let players generate masses of resources, with the southern areas especially scarred by impossible bases. The wound was public and visible. 2 years later, the problem returned in an even more ridiculous form. In early February 2017, players discovered that running commands while stuck in the connection queue made the server treat them as if they had come from RCON or the actual server console. It took almost no time for the trick to spread. People started typing "give all AK-47," and suddenly every player on the server had free assault rifles. Garry Newman wrote about it himself in devblog 147. They identified the bug, pushed a patch within an hour, and wiped some of the affected servers. In the same dev blog, he admitted they also had to fix an exploit that let players craft uncraftable items like the LR300 and wind generator straight from console commands. He even said out loud that they needed a bug bounty program. Command authority itself had been compromised. Stack integrity had already failed in 2015. Now the server no longer knew who was allowed to give themselves anything. By 2022, Facepunch was selling cosmetics and adding new tools to change how items looked in the world. The Arctic update dropped on February 3rd with the permanent Dash Store Arctic pack, including the Ice Assault rifle skin you could apply at the crafting table or repair bench, plus a new spray can for reskinning deployed items. Almost immediately, players found a reskin and skin identity bug tied directly to that Ice AK cosmetic. By treating the skinned rifle as a separate item during the reskin process, they could generate unlimited ammo, gunpowder, and metal fragments. What was sold as a cool paid skin became an infinite resource factory for anyone who knew the method. Community creators posted videos documenting the glitch. Some players openly called it pay to win because you needed the store item to access the exploit. Outrage spread fast. Facepunch later adjusted ice rifle skin switching behavior in the March update and closed several related exploits, but they never published the kind of direct confession Garry gave for the Q bug. The pattern was the same: new systems, new edges, new ways for the server to stop believing what items should actually cost. 3 different eras, 3 different systems, infinite stacks after a UI reboot, free weapons printed from the join queue, unlimited ammo and gunpowder generated from a cosmetic skin. Each time the core promise of the wipe was broken in public, forcing emergency patches, wipes, and stack limits. Facepunch has gotten better at responding. They eventually launched a proper bug bounty program on HackerOne. They patch faster now, and they talk about exploits more openly. But the fundamental tension never left. Rust's item system is deeply complex. Every new feature, every new way players can interact with or customize items creates fresh opportunities for inventory, authority, or cosmetic identity to desync from what the server knows is true. The game doesn't break because of one single villainous exploit. It breaks whenever the rules stop applying equally to everyone. New updates will keep shipping, new systems will keep arriving, and the next factory, the next infinite resource glitch, the next moment the economy eats itself is probably already sitting in the code waiting to be found. So the real question isn't which exploit broke Rust's economy, it's whether the game can ever fully escape the war it keeps having with its own item system.